Hi, I am Sabina Persson from Custellence. Welcome to the videocast CX Minutes. It's 6 questions, 6 minutes, and it's all about customer experience. So this is a series of episodes where we bring you actionable insights, practical know-how, and personal stories from top professionals, all in just 6 minutes. And joining me today is Gal Aga from Align. Hi, and thanks for being here. How are you, Gal?
I am good. Very excited to see you and be here. And as you can see, I'm very tan. Just came back from vacation, so feeling refreshed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so nice. Good. So we're going to talk about the future of customer experience. And actually, my first question is, who are you and what do you do? For those who don't know.
Yeah, so I'm a co-founder and CEO of a company called Aligned, who is in the customer experience space. Basically, it's a customer-facing workspace for revenue teams that just helps drive a better buying journey that helps close more deals faster and retain more customers. Instead of the email back and forth, attachments, links, a lot of things that are happening during a typical sales and CS process. So I've been myself a revenue leader for 17 years. I was an AE, was an enterprise AE, sales director, VP, CRO.
Mm.
Has built 4 go-to-market organization from scratch, went through the 1 to 10 million ARR journey twice, 40
Wow.
to 100 million ARR. And then that experience really led me to building Aligned.
Wow. Cool. And we're so happy to have you here. My next question is, what role, maybe this is an obvious one for you, but what role does
Yeah.
customer experience play in your work?
Yeah, so as I said, yeah, the product directly solves for that. So basically, the way that we see it, like the biggest thing that is on everyone's mind right now is that people just did not hit quota, do not like most
Mm.
companies, right? 22% basically of sales teams hit quota in 2024. Things are
Mm.
more chaotic than ever, more stakeholders, longer cycles, and everything.
Yeah.
And the truth is that what most of leaders miss is that we don't lose because products are that hard to sell, but
Mm.
we lose because we just make them hard to buy from us. A champion needs to
Yeah.
basically go take our deck to a budget meeting and they're unprepared and they hit budget scrutiny,
Mm.
get hit by that, and or 11 confused stakeholders can't reach consensus because there are 50 emails back and forth with PDFs and attachments, and all of the important information is buried there. And
Mm.
overall, that's not really a great experience. So, really, as a result, deals die to indecision, single threading,
Mm.
competitor that gave a better experience, or an interesting stat from Gartner is that 75% of buyers today prefer to avoid a salesperson. So it doesn't mean the death of sales, but it just means that we have to do better.
Mm.
And that's what we're trying to solve really as a company, really one space that just brings everything, all of that interaction and makes it easier for the champion to sell internally, makes it easier to drive alignment, makes it easier to just create an experience that's easy to buy from a vendor.
Mm.
And I turned all of that also into a personal passion, and I research all the time, and I speak with sales leaders all the time, and write about this on a weekly basis on LinkedIn or go to podcasts.
Mm. Right. And how do you see, I mean, speaking of customer experience, how do you see AI shaping, the future of customer experience or even is shaping it now?
Yeah. So I think now, so it's a good emphasis. So I think
Yeah.
now there's like a period where it's also doing worse and it's also
Mm.
making it better,
Yeah.
making it worse and better at the same time because uh, I think a lot of companies are really looking at AI as a way to solve for automation, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, let's automate, let's replace roles, let's do all of
Mm.
that, and then, or it's an easy button, right? It's
Mm.
a let's click on the easy button and replace our SDRs,
Mm.
right? Or we haven't done SDR or outbound work before, and then let's just amazing AI SDRs.
Mm.
So I think that's doing a lot of damage because it scales. Yes, it automates, but it also automates what doesn't work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Instead of automating what works. So, but I think in the long run, the winning companies, and it's just going to be inevitable. I think it's going to make things better because one, I think we won't have any other option but to automate the transactional, the things that are just
Yeah.
the human doesn't add a lot of value
Mm.
around.
Mm.
So waiting for a support ticket to get answered and resolved, or waiting to schedule a demo and then getting an AE not doing discovery,
Yeah.
which is for me as a buyer, but doing qualification, which is for the vendor, but having an AI that handles all of the transactional selling,
Mm.
which means that customer facing teams can really be great again, right? It only have to be high value, high touch
Mm.
tasks, and
Mm.
they'll be empowered by AI, right? To as a co-pilot to
Yeah.
augment them and to provide better actions.
Mm.
Plus, directly, AI is going to drive faster,
Yeah.
more accurate, and more effective interactions between the vendor and the buyer, which will positively impact the brand.
Mm. Yeah. In your opinion, what is one customer experience trend that people should pay attention to right now?
Yeah, so the concept of buyer enablement. Okay, everyone is are familiar with sales enablement. We
Mm.
have someone overseeing that, and we have an enablement program.
Yeah.
The issue is that it's mostly internal facing. It's mostly about these people really are a lot of the people that are getting hired to run these roles are learning and development,
Yeah.
or they're more product marketing that really solves a lot of the inconsistency in content and making everything accessible.
Mm.
But there's no like deliberate strategy owner frameworks and tools that focus on what about the buying journey? What about who really owns analyzing the buying journey all the time and the experience and the friction and running surveys and
Mm.
solving with processes, frameworks, tools, both directly that enable buyers
Mm.
and indirectly through sellers. So
Mm.
there's nothing doing that. And I think we got away with it with a sell-centric go-to-market because, in up to 2023, 2022, right?
Mm.
Because
Mm.
money was cheap. It was
Yeah.
ZERP era,
Yeah.
and we're able to get away with it. But now we live in different times.
Mm.
Both that trend of self-service, Gen Z, Gen Y buyers are now 71% of the buying group, and people are just going to use AI more and more and more, and are going to expect to be using AI. So there's
Mm.
a competition, right, between
Mm.
avoiding the salesperson versus using the salesperson. So we have to get to the next level, which is a clear owner. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
here's the program, buyer enablement. It's around processes, content, tools, sales skills, even that are about supporting the buying journey, like building business cases, building champions, like really deeper focus on how to do all these things. So that's the biggest trend I think that we're following and we're evangelizing also very closely.
Mm. Cool. Now, imagine 10 years from now. That's a long time, I know. But what is one big change that you think we'll see in customer experience? Will it even be called customer experience for once? No, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question, actually. There's a lot of discussions of agents to agent to agent, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
no experience, right? There's just
Yeah.
exchange of information for
Mm.
something to get a decision to drive a business forward. So I don't know if 10 years will be that mark. Maybe it is, and maybe that will be there, and then there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it will not happen, or maybe it will happen only for a certain level of transactions. But if we're talking about the side where yes, there's still a buyer involved and there's still a
Mm.
seller involved,
Mm.
or there is not a seller at certain level of purchases. I
Mm.
think B2B is just gonna be mimicking B2C. We're seeing this in
Yeah.
marketing in a lot of areas, influencer marketing and a lot of stuff. I think it's gonna happen in customer experience. So I used to sell to e-commerce for many years, and and we sold to e-commerce, like customer experience was a role, VP customer experience. Like there are a lot of people that's what they own,
Mm.
and they're like obsessed, right, with creating the best e-commerce purchase experience. It's all about buying even tools that just create a great experience.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of other elements of the business case behind it.
Mm.
I think that we're just going to get more and more like that, and we're going to use AI to have an avatar that just feels so amazing to speak with and has some nice gimmicks that just makes you feel more connected to that brand and more supported. And I think companies will really win on how easy they are to buy from, how unique and
Yeah.
how impressive more than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Ease. I'll get back to you in 10 years and see if you were
Okay,
right.
let's say if I'm right. Yeah.
Okay. And my last
That's the best
question
case.
is building, just kind of going further in this direction, really building on this. What is one piece of advice you would share? If you only had one piece of advice, what would that be?
Yeah, I think don't follow the hype of hey, you can automate everything and have
Yeah.
an agent that does marketing, an agent that does sales, an agent that does everything
Mm,
because it's tempting and you feel like, hey, this is the future. Everyone right now are building these 2, 3 person unicorn startups.
mm,
Okay. I
mm.
think there are a lot of things that needs to happen. It needs to be like crazy viral companies with a lot of other ingredients that would make something like this happen. But I think a lot of it is just hype and it drives people to try to just automate everything
Yeah.
and not look at the bigger opportunity, which I think AI can not is not about doing more, but about doing better.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that earlier in one of the questions, but I think that's
Mm,
the biggest advice. Look at how you don't just save people's time in order
mm.
for them to do more, garbage in, garbage out, right? How do you
Exactly.
save them time? That's okay, but if you believe that time is allocated properly,
Mm,
find a way to put AI in front of the customer. Find a way to put AI to get them to write better emails, not more emails, right? All of these things.
yeah. Gotcha. That's a great advice. That's a really good one. I'll take that one. All right. And that was my 6 questions. Thank you so much, Gal Aga, for sharing all these great insights. It was so valuable. Um,
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having
thank-
me.
and that's all for this time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.